So, my experience for you as entrepreneurs, follow your instincts, follow your heart, and really work hard. Be open for some changes to come, and just keep on doing.
Hello to Faces of Munich Video Talks. Our today's guest is Daniel Niederberger. He is Managing Director, Advisor and Investor at his own company, NewMobilityBusiness here in Munich. He is also keynote speaker, gives lecture at the university and is a mentor for startup teams. Daniel started his business 5 years ago. He is engaged in premium automotive industry and startup sector for almost 15 years with proficiency in automotive markets and future mobility with focus on strategy, transformation and innovation. Thank you, Daniel, for joining us today.
Thank you, Nicoletta. It's a pleasure to be here.
Why did you build up your company?
In fact, I had a very early in my life the interest of experiencing something new, and I tried also to focus also on new stuff, new innovation stuff, try out things. And I see that in an engagement as employee, even in a management position, you have some restrictions also, which maybe not always fits to the policy. And many ideas I had in former times were welcome, but it was not that easy to build this in a practical life or in a business setting. So in the end, it was really the way to experience more, to try out more things, and also to engage with different partners.
And now are you providing customer, and who is your ideal customer and why?
The ideal customer usually comes from the automotive sector or is an automotive associated company, can be also an OEM, a supplier company, an engineering company, other consulting companies, but also companies who have close relationship to mobility, but not even as their most business, even as banks or law companies who have also an interest about judging risk or balance sheets. Usually it's going to be about what's in the future, how does the future look like, so what are trends and mega trends, and how the transformation on that, how can a business model look like for you in the future. So fitting your company to a future perspective in typical business stuff, but also in an evaluation, what technology might help you, what organizational model would be the best for you, what partners do you like. And this is usually a mixture between really strategic stuff, which is really close to work with the employees and the management teams, and also, if necessary, also some interims opportunity to set all the changes into practical life and fasten it in the company.
You are working very close to the customer, and what makes a good customer relationship to you, and how do you create a good customer relationship?
So a close customer relationship is very important, because as you already pointed out, the questions are of really high importance of the future of the companies. So you need to have a very close connection and a very trustful relation to be in interaction with the C-level usually, or also with the higher management level, to be aligned with they want to go. It's in former times you could also say, as some consultant, you put in some ideas and say, okay, this is my paperwork, just do it, and you're fine with that. You got success in the future. In the last years, it has gonna change a lot. It's much more interactive. It's much more hearing and understanding what the customer's problem are really the ones, and not the ones you can read in the newspapers. And also fix an individual solution. Always keep in mind their individual situation, though there's for sure a lot of methodology, tools and ways to do and practices and so on, but it's not only a copy-paste. It's much more really a customized solution, and for that understanding you need really to be aware of how the customer is thinking, what is his problem, what is he thinking about, and you need to have a very high interaction. It's a very personal business, it's a trustworthy business, and this is also what it, I think, stands out in some way, It can be also digitalized in some way, the personal connection, but you are still very required to do some live appointments and workshops.
It's a very tailored and very personalized relationship actually, because you need to be close to the customer in order to also understand and maybe to react on his problem and his needs on the right moment that he needs that.
Yeah.
So are you actually sitting with a customer also as a consultant? Are you having an office with a customer? It's just an extra question that I have now. Are you working remote?
Usually not. Usually it's you have fixed appointments for talks and workshops. Workshops are can be prepared remote or via digital tools. And then you have a framework and you have a workshop at the day, put all the relevant stakeholders inside, work out some stuff, and then the next session goes on with presenting and getting results out of that and the operational tasks. That's the one side. The second task is, okay, if you're much in a more interim statement, then you're for sure much more present at the customer. Or maybe not also the customer, can be also at suppliers or at other business partners in his partner network.
You are already established your business 5 years ago, but you're even longer on the market with other topics. What makes you still carrying on, because it wasn't always that easy maybe, and what keeps you still going on, makes you carry on and drives you?
Okay, that's an interesting question I've asked many times. In fact, I've done the stuff 8 years before as an employer, 4 years as a consultant, 4 years in management positions, also with sales opportunities. So I had really a chance to learn it, what is going on, what can be done in a better way, what can be improved, and I don't need to make all the mistakes and failures on myself. Yeah, that was a really good learning. And the motivation to do that is just to shaping the future. It's maybe a little bit theoretical, but it is, you've always meeting interesting, energized people who want to think about tomorrow, about the future, about new technical stuff. You get presentations of, what do you think about that technology? Can those run? What do you think about those ideas? Can we make a business out of it? Can we maybe set up a cooperation? And this is always going in front, it's always future related. It's not the past you're reflecting to, although you can learn a lot from the past, also from management decisions from the past. But it's a very future-oriented business, and I like those because you have really a white paper usually where you can start and scratch ideas, and then for sure tailor it to the customer. But it's not only some bad things, usually some cost cutting and so on. I'm also doing that one, but this is not so pleasurable usually.
Cutting costs is never pleasure.
No. Bad topic.
I think it's a very impressive way of doing things and also of seeing the future, shaping the future, as you said. This brings me also to my next question is, what is from your point of view the one thing, your secret ingredient that made you being so successful, or that from your point of view you think brought you today to this moment?
Yeah, I think it's not only one factor. I think for sure it's a combination. I think it's a combination of a good experience. I've done technical engineering, I've done a master's degree in business and innovation, so the combination to understand topics holistically and not only in a singular way. I think this is one aspect. The other way is for sure in the new topics you have not that many people who are experts already, so you can grow on with the market, you can learn with the market, you have much more possibility to stand out in some way. And for sure it's some personal attributes, I think. Strong working, for sure you need to be engaged, you need to be some resilience, which is quite important. In fact, nobody's waiting for you, we all know this. You're also in the entrepreneurial side. You need to deliver very good results, and on a long time, permanently, then you have really a good chance at the market. So it's a combination of, for sure, skills, but also I think of doing and personality in the end.
Yes, I agree totally with you, because to be an entrepreneur, it's not an easy job. You need to bring so many ingredients, and thank you. It's very interesting. You are now a successful entrepreneur, and what are the 3 tips, what advice would you give to an entrepreneur who just started a business right now, from your own experience, because you already have a lot of experience?
Yeah, I think if you want to start your own business, you need to be aware what really drives you. I think this is really important. It's not a business question, it's more a question, go into your inner personality. What motivates you, what drives you, and why are you doing that? That's really important. It could be anything. And then for sure you need to think about it a little bit. Challenge your idea with some questions, make some hypothesis out of it. It's the structural way, but usually it's really a proven good way to do it, and find out the biggest opportunities and the biggest problems you might be confronted with. So to set this, your idea and your energy into some realistic business concept, and then very, very important, get the people who really support you. Support you in a way to work with them as team members, as colleagues, as partners maybe, and also as advisors. So really don't be afraid of getting some advisory from people who are really much more experienced than you are, but usually they have really good insights and some external perspective you maybe don't have. And for sure you need some passionate and drive. You need a lot of drive and you need a lot of persistence. It's a hard way. It's the hardest way, I think, to work.
Yes, I totally agree with you. And also, I have a very special question for you. What is your why?
The why. I think it's creating something new. It's creating something new with great people around. This is really, really amazing. I like those new ideas, and also practicing them into reality, bring them into reality. The possibility to shape, I would say, the possibility to shape.
Everybody wants to do business transformation and digitalization, and everybody starts on the left, right, on the right, on the left side, on the right side. But what is, from your experience, a proper way, a good way to start a transformation project? What do you think is needed in order to succeed a transformation process, or to bring a transformation process from start to a good end?
Okay, so most of the transformation projects don't really succeed in the end, and there's a lot of cases about that. Why is that so? At first you need really to listen to understand the customer. Many people don't do, but I think this is really important. Who are you, what's your problem, and what's your reachable targets you have set on your own? So just get his perspective or her perspective, and then match it to the market needs, and also keep in mind what the company is able to do. Because it does not make sense to put on some smart papers on and that might be the best case, you are much successful, but the company doesn't understand and cannot follow. Because you need all to get the people on board, because you need them to shape also those transformation process. And this is usually not only one process, it's holistically process within the company. So you have many subdivisions and many different processes, and all the people need to be aligned. So you need to get the understanding of them. You need to work out with the most important stakeholders the goals, who want to go, and what are the sub-targets. And also, if problems occur, how can we handle problems? But because in many times, if some problems occur, management do not have the time or do not want to wait anymore and cut off the projects. And this is why many projects fail. And in current situation where you need to build up your business in a very radical way, this is not only digital, but in many cases it's more digital. Listen more to the customer. What does the customer really want? How can we be more innovative and creative within our own company? How can we set up new projects? How can we integrate maybe some new partners? Especially if you think about partnerships of large companies and startups, totally different language. You need to answer all those questions to be successful in the future. And then you have also to decide, what's my next business field? Is it digital? Is it a future technology? Is it, can I do it on my own? Is it with a different partner maybe I need to integrate or to onboard? There's always often a good idea to invite some customers. Yeah, what do customers think? Make some co-creation workshops. And to put all those together, you need a really big roadmap, a clear targeting, and you need also to help the people doing that. Yeah, so be with them every week, maybe with a smart weekly meeting, discuss all the problems, and coach some people on an individual level. That's really important.
To drop another buzzword in the topic, how agile are the projects, and how is this word interfering or helping the transformation projects in the process?
Yeah, agility is for some people, even it's very common at the moment, it's for some people really a buzzword, because many people I don't think have the clear understanding what does it really mean. The question of many people think it needs to be, all the stuff needs to be more agile, and we're flexible and we're creative in creative spaces like here and so on, and then we're agile. No, that's not really the case. Yeah? Agility does also do not need that I don't need to have a plan or a strategy. It does, you need a plan and a strategy. But it's more a business setting you can adapt very quick to external changes, which we at the moment also see in a very, very vast range. For sure, people need to work more together, also in an interdisciplinary context, get different perspectives on topics and products, on developments, on customers, to create better market-ready solutions. That's for sure a good way to be more agile, and for sure the IT-driven logic in working in small teams, interdisciplinarity, make stand-ups and weeklies and so on, is for sure for many things a good way. But in the end, it's not only a way to set up this stuff in teams, which many companies do, but also to expand it to the total company. For sure, it does not make sense to be agile in some departments. Yeah? If you want to get your paycheck every month, there's no need for agility. It's just your paycheck. It's a simple process all the time. But if you are much more to a customer, to product development, to selling, to interaction, even to service business, it's really, really good if you work in a more agile environment. And the difficulty of the companies is also to bring those worlds together. You have separate some divisions who work in the new world, creative, agile, innovative, and so on. Also all the labs you can see around are in that area. And you have the rest of the company, I would say, which is usually bringing still the money in. You need to adapt those together. And this is usually from an organizational point of view really, really difficult, because they have also the management guys and the employers have usually different targets to reach. And this does not fit in most of the cases. So usually you need also to bring those together, some interface roles, I would say, to translate between both worlds. Also a very good idea is to set some OKRs, objective key results, to get also some fixed targets, but also have some flexibility and adaptiveness to the market.
Where and how do you see your role in this process?
From NewMobilityBusiness?
Yes.
And NewMobilityBusiness is providing even the strategic part. So what does the future look like? How can we make new business? How can we set up new chances, new partnerships? How can we earn money tomorrow? This is more the strategic part, which usually comes up front. And then we go also in an operational part, because you have the biggest credibility in the market if you can do both, to set up really on a team or organizational level. So go in with the teams, moderate some workshops, create new products, set up new partnerships, even if necessary, coach some single persons to be more fit in those processes. And also to diminish some conflicts which usually always come up.
If I would like to work with you, where do I find you and why should I choose you? What makes you different? You
can find me easily spoken all in the internet, on the usual social network platforms, Xing and LinkedIn. I'm also initiating a lot of events in the past, currently more in a digital way, but we will also do some live events, evening events, some workshops. So there's a good chance to get a live impression of working, and also you can listen to keynotes. I'm doing a lot of keynotes as companies, or some startup companies also. And what is different? I think the difference is for sure a huge a vast experience. So the biggest difference is the vast experience I had. I think I've started about 2005 in students' time, discussing and learning about future mobility stuff, which at that time was really, really unique. Nobody talks about autonomous driving or electric cars. It was just some freaks and prototypes, and nobody really can grab it. Yeah? And I saw a lot of companies and a lot of projects in the last 15 years, a lot of different players, met a lot of people. So there's a condensed knowledge and experience. How things gonna work, what will run, what will not run, and also some judgment how to look closer and identify and eliminate the biggest problems. That's a question of experience, but also a question of, I think, innovativeness and also initiate something new. So I would say usually I describe it as the mixture of technology, understanding, business, and the organizational stuff. You need to be a holistic view of that three arguments and these three areas to have really a holistic result. Yeah. And I think this is really what New Mobility Business covers really good.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Thank you very much for responding all my questions and for being here today with us. It's very interesting. I could ask and hear, and
thanks, Nicoletta.
We could do a workshop out of this.
The pleasure is on my side. Yeah.